morning everybody, it's your boy Max. I'm the host of The Black Jersey and welcome back to the channel. A big shout out to all my patrons. Before I start this video, I'm going to get into it right away. Ireland, as the title said, had to grind out a very tough bonus point win against Scotland. There were some real passionate anthems sung to a huge sellout stadium that I wish we had in New Zealand. The atmosphere was very intense, and in the first minute Ireland kick off, Scotland take it in before Price box kicks, and there's an excellent line break by Darcy Graham before we even reach a minute on the clock. It's very intense, very sharp, and you can really see the passion that the teams want to finish the Six Nations on. And as we go out, I'll kind of review how players went, what plays happened and stuff like that. Ringrose immediately gets the turnover though. Ireland go wide. The ball though dropped out of the field by Mack Hansen, which kind of summed up the Scottish game, to be totally honest, even though Hansen was of course playing for Ireland. In the third minute there's incredible pace by Scotland again after their line out. Runs from the likes of Kyle Steyn and Hamish Watson allow them to reach 10 metres in front of Ireland's try line until they knock on and Ireland play from behind their own line. There's massive confidence, the game was just ends to ends to ends to end, but in the second half that was mostly through the line out. Guess what as well? Yes, 5th minute, Pierre Schoeman, the Scottish #1 prop, makes a line break. Yes, a loose head prop, I know. Regenerating Scotland's attack, they continue to run until Darcy Graham receives a forward pass. You're going to notice kind of a bit of a pattern about Scotland as this review goes on. The 12th minute, Ireland have defended for 3 rather straight minutes against the Scottish attack, which is stopped by Kyle Steyn taking Mack Hansen out in mid-air. Not very good. Interesting as well, Pierre Schoeman has run 38 metres by this point. In the 13th minute we have Jamison Gibson Park making an excellent line break, and he's chip kicking to the try line. Excellent recovery by Hogg though, who kicks to touch. Ireland's do reset their attack though, and Sexton kicks a really good 50-22. Ireland's driving maul as well, they do push it over the try line, but Josh van der Flier is held up. They retain possession after being held up though. They go for another driving maul after an advantage ends, and Dan Sheehan, eventually named as the man of the match, breaks away from the maul and he gets Ireland's first try of the match. Sexton's kick does go over, so the conversion leads to the scoreline being 7-0. Ian Henderson at the 26th minute, boy oh boy did he have a better game this time. He took a brilliant athletic take from the line out. Ireland's do indeed launch a maul off this one. Sexton chip kicks to Hansen, and this is under advantage. Scotland recover the ball in front of their own try line though. Ireland's do keep things in the forwards, and Cian Healy drives over after about 1 metre. So very interesting to see all these front rowers scoring. More front rowers do indeed score as the game goes on, which is pretty crack up to me. Sexton converts again, and so the scoreline's 14-0 for Ireland, who are just very clinical in how they got things done, I believe. Andy Farrell really drills them similarly to Joe Schmidt, except they've got fast, softer hands, and they're looking far more skillful in my opinion. And I think this bodes well for the good old World Cup, which is the pool of death. 9 minutes straight of Scottish attack leads to them finally getting things paid off. Watson gives a brilliant offload to Darcy Graham, who gets very close to scoring. Pierre Schoeman then makes a bit of a dummy, he scores under the posts. The TMO though does have to check on Pierre Schoeman to make sure he hasn't made a double movement. It's okay though. Unfortunately though, Blair Kinghorn, who was starting at 10, though he is a fullback, I'm glad they didn't start Russell at 10. Kinghorn was passing pretty well, he was reading the game pretty well. His conversion from 24 metres though does not go over, so at this point of the game, Scotland are losing by 5-14. Scotland do attack inside their own half in the 38th minute. This is shut down though as Tide Furlong wins the turnover. Sexton quickly kicks for touch, but the maul is shut down by a turnover to Grant Gilchrist rather. And so here's the halftime stats. Nothing too noteworthy apart from how Scotland had better tackle accuracy, and Ireland's position wasn't too lopsided throughout this. Ireland were just capitalising a bit more off their meters, as you might be able to see in my opinion. The half-time doesn't go for too much of a break. It's like the players never left the field when the second half begins. Ireland launch once again incredibly fast attack off the first line out of this half. Gibson Park breaks the line and gives a brilliant grubber kick to Mack Hansen. I wish I owned the footage so I could show you that. And somehow Hansen continues to keep the ball in play when he is being tackled into touch. In the 44th minute though, Gibson Park's next grubber kick is shut down and Scotland get to kick for touch. Scotland do create a good amount of space under advantage 4 minutes later, but Stuart Hogg grubbers past 2 Irish defenders and is tackled into touch receiving the ball. The TMO then brings us back to Piers Schoeman once again. The TMO seem to be targeting Schoeman. He finds that he's fending off Ian Henderson, as you can see up here, using his arms. I think the ref made an excellent decision though. As you can see, Schoeman's got both arms wrapped around the ball and Henderson's pretty bent over, considering he is 6'7" or 6. There's not much more rather Schoeman can do, so good on the ref for not carding him, taking things a bit too far like how he did with Ewells last week when it was Ireland against England. 52nd minute, Gibson Park really wastes an opportunity for Ireland by passing into the shoulder of James Lowe. You'll hear a fair bit of him in the second half. Zander Fagerson recovers the ball, yes, believe it or not, the number 3 is still on the field, and Scotland go wide inside their own half. They get a really good overlap. There's got numbers out wide, but Chris Harris passes forward to Kyle Steyn. So many wasted opportunities by the Scottish team, man. Goodness me. Just a minute later, James Lowe is unable to score after being tackled by Darcy Graham, but he throws the ball into Chris Harris so Ireland rather can get a 5-metre scrum. Scotland's scrum collapses, and I think it was a pretty bad performance by their replacement Type 5 apart from WP Nell, who I do think is getting to the end of his career at this point. At the 58th minute, the constant scrummaging finally ends. The casual fans will be very happy with that, whereas front row enthusiasts like myself are quite upset. This ends with Ali Price clearing the ball. It does not go to touch though, when Ireland continue attacking. This ends with Josh van der Flier going over from about 3 metres after being denied in the first half. Sexton converts, scoreline is 21-5. 65th minute, Scotland are taking a 10-metre line out in Ireland's half. Hansen though, Mack Hansen, what defence, especially for an Aussie. He shuts down a massive overlap by smashing into Mark Bennett. Ireland's counter really gets ticking, and the turnover allows them to clear the ball for touch through James Lowe as well. Interestingly, massive tackle on Hogg by Rob Herring in the build up to this as well. 68th minute, Russell has just come on for Scotland. I do think they need to start looking at a third choice 10 after Adam Hastings is back in. Russell comes on and immediately engages with a kicking war. It's 68th minute right now. It's such bad timing to do that, especially after the massive keep ball tactics we've seen all game so far. Just really bad timing. He then fails to come on to a pass by Blair Kinghorn, and he just allows the pass to go into touch. Really bad timing by Russell. Yes, Kinghorn is a fullback, but in all honesty, his passing and awareness of the game, except for this instance, was better than Russell's throughout it. 71st minute, Ireland's scrum collapses. There's not really too much from the last 10 minutes. Scotland do kick for touch and get a 10-metre line out, but their attack comes to nothing. Nell is penalised at the breakdown for entering incorrectly. So apart from his scrum, not too flash from him either. Darcy Graham somehow as well was not yellow carded in the 77th minute for taking out Peter O'Mahony in the ear. They should surely be carding more players getting taken out in the ear. Really bad play by Ben White to finish the game off as well. He knocks down the Irish ball about 10 metres in front of his try line or so he gets yellow carded for the deliberate knockdown. Ireland once again do launch a line out, and very interestingly, after they launch the attack immediately, it's Conor Murray who drives over for Ireland's final try of the game. Sexton does miss the conversion on this one though, so the final score is 26-5. Ireland finish the game with a bonus point win, and they have won the Triple Crown this year, so very good going for the Irish. This puts quite a bit of pressure on France against England, but you'll probably be watching this knowing the winner of the Six Nations. I'm recording this between games, so I don't know. To end the Six Nations, I think Ireland finished promisingly, and I think they're going to come into the mid-year test series against us All Blacks, worryingly for me, in very good form despite having had a long season. Scotland really have just, you know, given more fuel to the fire of their reputation as brave losers. And after a game like this will be quite damaging to them psychologically, especially as I said before, when you consider they are in the pool of death against South Africa and Ireland. Hopefully Scotland can learn from the mistakes of wasting opportunities like they did in this match, and I think you'll see quite a few Irish players named in my Six Nations team of the tournament. Thanks very much for watching this channel, guys. Remember to check out the Black Jerseys official website for like match reviews and stuff that I do journalism on. The Black Jerseys obviously on Instagram, that's how the whole thing started. And if you want to support me financially and help me pay my uni fees, you can support me financially through things like Subscribestar, Patreon, and my tip jar for PayPal if you want to do a one-off. Cheers, guys. I'm going to edit this video so I don't miss the France-England game. Thank you very much.